Hey guys, Furum here, and today I will be testing the all-new Lamborghini Huracán Evo Spyder in multiplayer in Asphalt 9. I've gotten many requests for a video about this car, so here you go. It's at a rank of 3075, 3-starred, with all upgrades and import parts applied. And let me say, this car improves a lot each star. Actually, from 3 to 4 stars, it goes up in rank by over 500. I believe this is a tactic that Gameloft is purposely using to try to get people to star up cars more, either by buying packs or however you do it, by making cars increase more in performance from star to star. Because some of the earlier Unleashed cars may not have improved a whole lot, they may have gone up by 1 or 2 miles per hour or whatever, but basically you knew what a car was going to be like maxed out if you had it at lower stars. Not so anymore. This Huracan is quite bad and not fun to drive at all at 1 star. However, at 3 stars, it is quite fun to drive, and at max, because I got the opportunity to drive it at max, it is extremely good. However, there is currently no actual way to get this car at max. You can only 4-star it in the Huracán Evo event, and that is only if you have literally everything required for the event, including all those 5 cars maxed with their 4 epic import parts. I wish they had just made the required rank to be maxed and not have the import parts and everything on there, because that just makes it so many people are going to be stuck with like 30 rank below, as I am, for example, on the F12 TDF. I've maxed that car except for a few epic import parts, and thus I can't get like 15 blueprints from that. Quite annoying. Anyway, in that race, we beat 3 4-star 488s, and in this race we're facing another 3-star Huracán Evo. So let's see how well this car can do against a higher starred version of itself. We've also got 3 Asterions and 3 488s. This was a full 8-player race, which was quite rare, at least in Platinum, from my experience anyway, and I've heard that in this season, once you get to Legend League, you get a lot of duel races, so that is one reason that I wanted to test this car before getting to Legend League, because the more cars you got in a race, oftentimes the more fun it is to play and watch, in my opinion. Now, of course, you can have some great duel races. If you would like to see some very close and fun duel races, go check out my video about the Camaro ZL1, which was a real underdog in the duel season. So we're into first place. Second, actually. Somebody teleported ahead of us. No, not actually. So this person has a really bad internet connection. Throughout the race, he would teleport ahead of me and then stop for 10 seconds, and then teleport ahead of me again. But finally, once we got into the second lap a little bit, he fell back behind, and I was able to come in first position. And he actually ended up coming in last. That must have been a really bad connection. So we beat that other Huracan and those 488s and Asterions. Now, one thing you have to remember when driving the Huracan is that its speed is not exactly its best stat. While it excels in, well, pretty much all other stats, at least in a pretty good amount at 3 stars, its top speed is not especially great. At this rank, it goes 315 miles per hour, which is actually slower than the 4-star Asterions by a couple miles per hour, and slower than the 488s by around 9 miles per hour, I want to say. However, it does have better other stats than those cars, and that's where it gets its proficiency, I would say. It has good handling and good nitro efficiency and good acceleration. And there we knocked that guy down. For some reason, he got below us, not exactly sure what happened there. But anyway, the Evo can be thought of as a better version of the Corvette Grand Sport. It has better top speed, better nitro efficiency, and better acceleration than the Corvette Grand Sport, at least at max. However, the handling of the Corvette Grand Sport is still better, and that is one thing I have noticed a bit. Also, the drifting capacity is a bit better on the GS. But generally speaking, if you like the GS, you're gonna like driving this car, at least at 3 stars and above. Now, the car ahead of us right now is a 488, as is the one that's not too far behind us. As I said earlier, the 488 is faster than this car by almost 10 miles per hour, so that is why it is staying ahead, and we're not able to catch up just by the speed. So we're going to have to do some other things in order to catch up. We definitely have an advantage in the nitro efficiency, probably the handling as well. Not exactly sure about the acceleration, but in any case, we are managing to creep up to this guy after taking that turn at the top of the hill a bit better. We come up really close to him at this ramp here, touch him from behind maybe just a little bit, and then I decide to go to the right and not try to knock him down. I rarely try to knock anyone down on purpose. The only times I try to knock anybody down on purpose is if they've knocked down me in the past and I know it was intentional and there was absolutely no good reason for it, or if I've gotten knocked down 5 times in 2 races, and then I go kind of on a rampage. Yes, that is an experience of mine from earlier today, actually. So So we managed to get ahead of this 488 pretty comfortably, and thankfully no physics glitches or anything weird like that happened throughout this race, and we're able to come in at first position. Speaking of physics, in a later race in this video, we do have a bit of a physics anomaly, let's just say, where I should have wrecked but didn't. So here we beat these 488s, and in the next race we have a very close battle with another 488. Oh, and by the way, guys, this N-Team club that I'm in at the moment is not a result of, like, me switching teams or whatever. It is simply a collaboration club to get some of the Evo blueprints. I did this before for the Regera event, and only because of the collaboration clubs was I able to 4-star my Regera, and in this one, it allowed me to 3-star my Evo. Unfortunately, these collaboration clubs do not last very long, because the thing is, it requires the people to be in the clubs all together who have, like, these high Apollos and stuff. That's one reason that I went in, because I have my maxed Apollo. It requires all of us to be in the club at the same time, not doing rep for our own clubs or anything like that. So yes, they don't last very long, and so by the time this video goes up, it may very well be disbanded. So if you're one of the Windows players who was able to get in and get some Evo blueprints, well, I'm glad that we could help you. Mainly, I just want you guys to know that I have not switched teams, and I never plan to. RPM and Legions United forever! So we're right on this tail of this 488 here, and we catch up to him a little bit because of taking that corner sharper, but yeah, this guy was right ahead of me throughout so much of the race, and it was so difficult to creep up on him. And it doesn't help that in this season, for some reason, I've had a horrible luck with knockdowns. Not just people 360 me when I'm trying to pass them, which has happened a lot, but also literally me being on shockwave, landing on top of somebody, staying on top of them for seconds, falling off a, I don't know what it was, a ledge of some kind, with them still under me, and I got knocked down. I'm serious, that happened earlier today. And I'm sorry, headphone users, if that was loud. And I'm also sorry, headphone users, if I ever scream during the streams. See, look at that. I had shockwave. I hit that guy from behind. He was going slower than me. He did not have shockwave, but somehow he was able to escape unscathed. This is the kind of thing that really gets on my nerves this season, and it's one reason why I haven't even been able to get above 1600 rating yet. It will be very difficult this season to get into Legend League, because even in the high 1500s, I'm in top 100 on Windows. I don't know how it is on other platforms, but on Windows, it is quite difficult to get into Legend League, because even if you drive perfectly or whatever, some race, somebody is just going to 360 you when you're passing them, or you're going to get physics glitched, or something is going to happen causing you to mess up, even if you get a streak of good races. Now, thankfully, you cannot go down more than 20, and I do get that free disconnect, and hopefully you guys have that now too. I'm pretty sure they gave that to everybody, since it's an intended feature and apparently a bug that some people didn't have it. But yeah, in this race, we finally are able to pass that guy, and we come in first place. There are so many 488s running around this season, and they are honestly the cars that I have some of the hardest time beating, as we will see in this race, which we actually have another Evo in as well, and I think 2 488s. Now, if you go to the right here, it is a bit safer at the beginning of multiplayer races, while it may be a bit slower rather than going down and going up the barrel roll on the left there. As you can see, they got a bit further ahead, but it allows you to stop from going on your top or something like that. I'd rather lose half a second than get knocked down than lose 4 seconds or whatever. Now, this is the kind of time when people would try to 360 me a lot of the time. Thankfully, this guy didn't. I was very afraid he was going to. But yes, I had come down from the experience earlier in the day where everybody knocked down on me, so I didn't try to knock down him. Now, this other Evo, the guy right in front of me, is also 3 stars at the exact same rank as I have, 3075. You will hardly find any Evos, I believe, above that rank. You may find some, because it is technically possible, as I said earlier, to get a 4-star Evo if you have every single necessary required car with all of the epic import parts and are able to get all the club rewards. Yeah, only then can you get a 4-star Evo, I believe. But yeah, there will be plenty of 3-star ones. I think probably like 80% of the Evos that I've seen have been 3 stars, and so it's actually a very good thing that I'm able to test it at 3 stars, because this will show you guys how it is like to drive the car that the majority of people who have this car are actually driving it at. Basically, it gives the best representation of the car in multiplayer. And here, I somehow don't wreck and go crazy high up into the air and shockwave, and somehow, yeah, well, he finishes first, but that was just crazy. We did, however, beat that other Evo as well as another 4 488 GTB, and one Ferrari 488 GTB beat us. I think he knocked down the Evo sometime in there. Now for the final race in the video, in which we are facing 4 488 GTBs and 1 Asterion. The reason the 488 is so popular this season is because, well, it is available in Platinum League, and it is simply the best car that most people are going to have. It's the fastest one of any car that's in the season, I believe, until you get to Legend League, which most people are not at yet. So yeah, that's why there are so many of those 488s. Also, a lot of the people do not have the Evo yet, because it's not exactly the hardest car to get, but it's not the easiest one to get either. And now it's time for my general review of the Evo. It is quite a fun car to drive, maybe not quite as fun as the Corvette GS, at least the 3 stars, but if you've driven the GS, you will sort of know how this thing feels like. Very good nitro efficiency, very good acceleration, very good handling. The drifting radius may not be the best thing, but at least it doesn't lose too much speed when drifting, and here we finally pass this guy here, and the only bad thing about it is it's sort of mediocre speed. 216 is not bad at all. It's just not especially great when compared with some of the other high-end B-class cars. However, in a lot of cases, its agility will more than make up for that. And here, we come in first place. Thank you all for watching. Please like the video if you've enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt 8 and 9 content. And I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!